And now we have no sound.
I see two of you, Steve.
Hang on, Chris. Hold on, Chris, hold on. All right, let's try this debacle again because nothing's working right now. And they got two of me. No. There we go. All right. And once again, good evening, cyberspace. We're doing this for the sake of our Facebook fans. Obviously, we have a good group that comes in through YouTube. But believe it or not, about 60%, 65, 70% of our viewers actually come from Facebook. And you can tell by the viewers that, yeah, there was something amiss. I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
And again, we're having that little blurby issue with the sound. So let me see if I can't fix that real quick. Because it seems... All right, maybe that works. Okay, yep,
hey, that's good.
Every time I do this show, I have to change the sound settings, either one way or the other, to get that feedback to stop. So it's been a little bit of the Book of Faces is overrated. Well, howdy, Warren, tax back, and of course our buddy Cryptoville is here.
Cryptoville, yeah.
So our YouTubers are piping in now. Some of our Facebookers will pipe in just to make sure we're still here.
Yeah, sorry, folks. We got. I think you got it going now. All right, Steve.
Yeah, everything's going well. I have the two channels going. I see what they are.
Okay. Good.
What we're gonna probably have to do is have to upgrade the service. And I'm gonna just stick strictly to the StreamYard. There is a problem apparently with Restream. I don't know what it is, but it was transmitting to YouTube fine, but for whatever reason, it wasn't transmitting to Facebook. So, but they just started multi-platform streaming. Thank God. That may be part of the issue going on. I'm not quite sure. So whatever it is, we'll figure it out. And I'd rather spend the money and have it go out to Twitter, because I know we have Twitter folks that come in, and we have, but there's some advantages to that, and we'll get with that as well. So again, welcome. As we can see, it's been a busy couple of weeks. For our Facebook users, just throw us a hi or a hello real quick if you can. Just let us know you're there. Of course, oh boy, talk about getting all screwed up. Now, where were we, Chris? We were talking about, you know, previously we were talking about what we've been doing the last couple. So you folks haven't missed a bit much. But when I looked over, I'm like, why do we only have that number of people? Usually we have that number of people. So I quickly toggled over to the Facebook page and going, where is it? So we stopped, we restarted. So now we're starting about 25 minutes late, but we got some of the minutia out of the way. So, you know what, Chris, let's get right to the news.
That sounds good.
All right. So we'll get our mugs off the screen. And here we go. First up in the news is a North Carolina electrician who found some tracks on his nearby property. Yes, he found this incredible print. Watch this news report.
And I seen some tracks there. I was looking at that real close, and I said, man, somebody's got a Bigfoot.
Joe Scarborough is an electrician. Last week, he was working on a home near Caesar, North Carolina, when he says he saw this. Tracks. Big tracks. A footprint larger than any human could make.
Then I got looking closer, and I said, man, that's 13, 14 inches. So I went back to the truck and got my tape measure and went back down there and looked at it closer, and it was fresh.
Joe says you can tell the track was fresh from the small plants pressed down in the mud. Joe says he will come back to the area, this time with more cameras.
I'm going to spend the night when I go back, and I'm going to take some game cameras. I'm going to put up in there, and I'm going to see what happens. I mean, why not?
For Joe, more information is needed before he's willing to say it's a supernatural finding.
And of course, hard to believe until you see it yourself, or you don't know how many hoaxes are out there.
Reporting from Gaston County.
And the pictures prove itself.
Mike Hansen, NBC Charlotte.
Next up is the mysterious case of the North Carolina missing Bigfoot found in the middle of the woods. Yes, this 6-foot, 180-pound statue was actually stolen on August 24th in front of the Mountaineer Landscaping Company in Linville, North Carolina. It was found just this last week or two in the middle of a woods, dragged 11 miles in, basically living where Bigfoot actually roams. Here's the sheriff wrestling with the Bigfoot. Next up is a stolen metal Sasquatch recovered in Oklahoma. Yes, police found last Thursday a large metal Sasquatch that thieves had stolen from an Edmond woman's home earlier in the week. Catherine Berry received the big statue of Bigfoot, which she estimated weighs 60 to 70 pounds and is 8 foot tall for Christmas. Yes, it was later recovered, and she was very happy to put it back where it belonged in the original place. So I'm wondering what exactly is going on with all the stolen Bigfoot statues and cutouts and all that stuff. I mean, yet here's another one where a woman is looking for a stolen Bigfoot statue. I expect any night to turn on live PD, and there is a Bigfoot right behind sticks, expecting it any time. Anyway, tonight's discussion will be law enforcement videos and Bigfoot. Like our featured one tonight, here it comes. This alleged camera left behind by law enforcement captures this. Well, we'll get to it. Catch you all in a second. And I'm not quite sure what happened to our sound on the video. It was playing wonderfully earlier. So, you know, folks that are texting me on my personal phone, please do not. I am currently trying to monitor Facebook with the phone. So it's kind of a pain. I keep cranking my head over this way every 5 seconds. So,
oh man.
So when you text me, it takes me off Facebook. So I need to. I don't know what is going on tonight. I feel like screaming.
Well, you know, that second statue that they found that looked like the concrete one there. I think it was probably either concrete or resin. They had one exactly like that at a local concrete place in Cave City, and it stayed out there for a couple of years. And then I think they shut down. I don't know if they ever sold it or not, but I always wanted to stop in there. and ask him, how much that dude was. But I was kind of afraid to, because if it wasn't very expensive, I would have probably bought it, and that would have caused problems at home, I'm certain.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what is going on with the sound now all of a sudden. So I'm going to try one thing just for our video purposes. Let's put that back. And okay, well, hopefully that'll work. So anyway, we talked about in the news. We have the statues that got taken, and of course, the way things are going, we're all going to be, it's going to be on live.
I like
PD.
that.
Yep. I'm on live PD. By the way, let's get with it. The North Carolina track. If anybody wants to take a look at that, I'm putting that up on the screen right now. I'll blow it up for everybody. But that's the track he found. I just don't like the, it's really kind of hard to see definition and stuff like that with it. But
yeah, I would love to see the measuring tape give us the length of the track. Looked like to me he had it crossways, or the picture was turned when it had the measuring tape up there. I would like to see the length and the width of the track, up at the top and at the ball foot.
Okay, there are some people reporting they have no video. However, no, hold on. I'm streaming it fine on my laptop, and I have the Facebook feed up. So, if it is a problem with your video, it may be just a little behind, or you may have to refresh.
That's probably it. They probably need to refresh, because we just started a new stream.
Or hit the little play button on it, because if you have to hit the play button on the stream to start it. So just hit the play button on the stream, and that should work out. And hi Esther, hi Dave Dragoson, Aaron, hello, you're over on Facebook now. Ken, how you doing? Hi Laura, Amy, hello, and Amy Bew, she's on, and our good friend Suzanne Farinchak, she's on. Sherry, I see you too. So everybody's here. I'm trying to yep. And Dave Dragoson just said vid okay. So yep, but you just got to hit the play button if there's no video playing. So we're trying to tackle a bunch of things. The Facebook trip up was not something we expected.
No,
not at all. So yeah, then the other interesting thing was this Bigfoot statue.
Yeah,
found, and that's actually the sheriff there that is kind of wrangling that Sasquatch, but they found it like 11 miles in the woods.
Oh man, there ain't no way somebody had to truck that thing back in there.
Like, what the hell? Well, it's 180 pounds. So, a couple of guys, 2, 3 guys, 4 guys could easily just take it off of it. But why? They found it in the middle of the woods. Some hunter was going by. What the hell is that?
I guess that was probably found during deer season,
The amazing, it disappeared in the summertime. Now that it's deer season, somebody found it. I'm surprised nobody's taken a shot at it.
Yeah, they need to check it for bullet marks.
So Aaron, if you want to comment on YouTube, that would probably be easier for me to see the comments. So that's true. Cryptidville says hashtag stop the lunacy. Maybe people should mind speak with you. Yes, next week's show will be completely by mind speak. Don't look for a Facebook. Just sit in a chair, relax, and I'll get that. Karen Pedroza, who's listening on Facebook, says, could you imagine walking through there at night and coming upon that? Yeah, I think there'd be some brown pants involved with that.
That would be rough. Yeah.
So, Chris, something I'm going to do, next week. In case people are wondering, I'm wearing a couple of wristbands, and we're gonna have a little trivia night one night. We're gonna take 15 minutes and have a little trivia game, and the winners, and I'll be giving away a few of these every show. The winners, will get. I don't know if this will work right, but they will get a Stop the Lunacy wristband.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And as you see the back of it, SquatchDTV.com.
All right.
All right. And the other one too is, and we'll have another contest, and we'll be giving some of these away too. And that would be, what would Sasquatch do? That's what the other website name. So yeah, we'll be popping those out. And thanks for Cryptidville reminding me of this. With all the minutia going on tonight. But yep, that's right. Tack says he's got his.
I got mine. Oh man.
But yeah, I decided to make wristbands up for those things. They're kind of cool. The Stop the Lunacy wristbands. So, and they were a pretty big hit at the conference.
Before I forget it, I wanted to ask you: did Billy ever find out the guy that took his equipment?
I don't.
Or have you heard any updates?
I have not heard any updates. So, and Ken Parnell says, never underestimate the ability to people trying to make a joke. Yeah, that's a pretty difficult joke.
That would be difficult to get that dude that far back in the woods. I mean, man,
But the one other thing I want to say too is the guy that found the track, this Joe Scarborough, kind of funny.
Yeah.
He's actually quite level-headed. I'm actually kind of digging his thing. And hello to Matt Hammis, an old friend of mine. Hello. And of course, hello to Darla and to Ed. Welcome aboard. But I like this guy because he's got, I don't know if it's a Bigfoot or a hoax or whatnot, but he's going to try to find out. So he's not going in there going, oh, it's a Bigfoot, so he's going in there, So I appreciate that type of attitude.
Right. He's been more interested in finding out what's going on.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about is this video, this trail cam video this actually came out in 2016. The reason why I bring this up is sometimes if I see something that's catching the attention of social media, even though it may be a few years old, I'm going to hop on it and take a look. And this is the actual trail cam video, and we'll get the story behind it in 1 second. And there it is. And what it is, you really can't tell from the angle of the camera, really. Right. So here's the story behind it. And of course, this came from, seems like the only source of this video came from the Sasquatch Chronicles. And they did speak to a guy, anyway, this is what it basically said is basically, here's the history of the video. Well, that's not the history of the video. This is the history of the guy reporting the history of the video. I'm a 20+ year law enforcement officer, 3 of which were done as a game warden. I received this video from a colleague of mine. He was assigned to a federal task force working on gorilla-grown marijuana. Now, let me stop right there.
Oh yeah.
I think gorilla is spelled wrong there. I think he meant G-U-E-R-R. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think our hairy friends in Africa are growing marijuana.
But boy, if they do, I bet you they're flinging poo.
But now they're
flinging the poo if they're.
I'm certain that he meant gorilla, not gorilla. Oh my God.
However, they do make wonderful glue.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Gorilla grown marijuana. Okay, go ahead.
All right, Bennett. Let's stop monkeying around and get back to the story. So this group would go into remote areas of Northern California and sell trail cams in an attempt to catch the growers on film. Bum, bum, bum. This particular trail cam was 27 miles back in the Sequoia National Forest, not accessible by vehicles, only ATV, then foot. He retrieved the trail cam and found the attached video. He did not know what to do with it, as he was afraid of repercussions. I openly speak about the subject and my beliefs, and another officer referred him to me, and he provided me the video. I only ask we discuss what to release about the video before sharing if you decide to. I have experienced events, i.e. tree knocks, footsteps, extreme fear from unexplained reasons. I also have found a few footprints. Well, none of the footprints are actually part of the record of evidence. But I spoke to a law enforcement officer today, and he said the trail cam appeared to be ripped off the tree and that the creature had buried it in leaves. He said that the cameras are in such a remote locations that they are only set to record 5 to 10 clips so that guys do not have to go out constantly to replace SD cards. They set up cameras to bust drug trafficking. The officer did not make any claims as to what it is, but he served as a game warden for many years and says it's not a bear. This thing ripped the trail cam off the tree and started putting leaves over it. Okay. What sounds wrong with that, Chris?
Well,
now you know my point, but don't blow my point.
Yeah, I'm not.
So here's the video. I'm going to see if we can't loop it for everybody to watch. Yeah, there we are. So here's this trail cam video. Now, is it an animal? Yeah, it could be. Very well could be. Very well could be. Is it bipedal? Can't really tell.
Well, the thing that gets me is you see those things that it's covering the camera up with, those leaves? Why are they on the ground if this is during the marijuana growing season?
Yep.
That seems kind of odd to me.
Smoking with Squatches.
Yeah.
And hello to Victor, hello to Chris, and hello to Nelson on Facebook. Welcome, guys. You know, it's kind of cool here. I can see who's popping in to say hello. So I'm looking at this video. So first of all, the story
to me, it doesn't match up with what we're seeing here.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the story again, and this is what bothers me about it. Let me pull this back up. There we go. So here's what bothers me about the story in particular. Is where did it say that? They only set to record 5 to 10 clips.
That's kind of odd.
I agree. If they wanted to save the SD cards, you know, how many why are they taking video if they, well, here's the other interesting thing. Okay, so this happened in 2016. I bought my trail cam. My cameras are circa 2013. And when I take video, there's also audio. Just saying. Just saying. The other thing too is these clips appear kind of choppy.
Yeah.
In the video, if we look at the video, it appears kind of choppy. I mean, maybe not. To me, it looks like they're on burst setting, which makes more sense to me.
Right.
But it could be video. But here is the problem I have with the video. And people who know me will understand this. If this was a law enforcement video, where's the timestamp?
Right.
Where's the timestamp? There is no timestamp.
You know, I wonder if they said if it might have been a mistake what they wrote down instead of 5 to 10 clips. I wonder if they meant to say they set it to where it would shoot 5 to 10 second clip. You know what I mean? To save the SD card.
Right. Exactly. And I agree. And that's what maybe he meant. It was 5 to 10 second clip. Which
maybe
this could be, but they're missing the point here. Is that a 5 to 10 second clip may not show you the probable cause. I just don't.
Right.
I don't see where this is a law enforcement video at all. Again, the most important piece I have here is number one. It's very square.
Yeah.
So this almost looks like number two. Again, no timestamp. When especially with the feds, I know because guess what? I prosecuted a couple of folks just recently. And it was my case, and it was a federal case. And guess what? They're very particular, especially the feds, about having timestamps on their cameras. Because you know what? Juries don't want to, they will lose the connect if you turn around and say, well, here's the properties. Here's the properties of this. Here's the properties of this. They don't want to see that. Prosecutors, judges, want date stamps. And Ken Parnell just popped in and said, "You're right, Steve. And date stamps are drilled into the police mindset. They absolutely are. Every piece of evidence I have. I'm a professional investigator. I do a lot of insurance investigations. Boy, they get a little pissed off when they don't get their timestamps on there, or date stamps at the very least. And not necessarily timestamps, but they want that date stamp. When did this happen?
Right.
How can you prove that this happened? This is not my guy. You can't prove somebody is there. And this is the whole thing. Oh, we were using it to bust drug traffickers. Well, when was this video taken? Well, where's the proof? Well, you can change the meta tags. You can. So guess what? That would get thrown out of court. If you took a picture of a drug trafficker would say, "Well, on this day I was here." You know, how can you prove that was this date? Well, it says that, but that data can be changed. The date that's on the timestamp is imprinted into the imprinted. You can't take that off once it's on there, and that's why it's so important to law enforcement.
It is interesting, but the story's got some holes in it.
Yes, absolutely, and you know, it's really hard to see what it is. Some people think it looks odd. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it, and it kind of looks like animalistic to me. It looks like it may be an animal, but then again, it could be a guy in a suit too. It's too odd, too uncontested.
Well, I'm definitely seeing a hand in one frame.
But where the story breaks down, where it breaks down, the video breaks down is in the story. The story doesn't flush. So, you know, and I'm looking at some of the comments on Facebook, and even Aaron said missing ×8 is suspicious. Hair fur looks odd for Sasquatch. Tax says, "Hey, this may actually be a screen capture," which very well could be. Again, it looks like this is a screen capture and not an actual thing. Now, maybe that will explain why there's no timestamp. Possibly. So to me, if this is the actual video, which I haven't seen anything else online but this one, then there's issues with the story. If it's not and it's a screen cap, then what are we missing on the left and the right? Because when you take trail cam photos, and I'm going to show everybody a trail cam photo of this is actually a law enforcement trail camera. I know it's a little small. Sorry, I can't do much about what's on the web, but as pixelated this is, you notice that a trail cam picture is not square.
You know, that's something else too. I wonder if the guy.
And guess what's in the video? A timestamp. The other thing too.
Oh yeah.
The other thing too is that even when they cropped it, and this is one of their cropped ones, there is some.
Still see part of it.
You see part of it. That's really difficult not to get part of it. So my point being is, there was no timestamp at all. That makes this whole thing very suspicious that it was law enforcement to begin with. And if the story is crap, folks, what do I say?
Yeah.
All that follows is a crap.
Right. But that still looks good. But unfortunately, since the video is tied to the story's got holes in it, so does the video. But you know, it definitely does look like some sort of living something. Okay.
I'm not denying that. It could be.
I wouldn't even say a guy in a suit.
Well, a guy in a suit's a living thing too.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
but
that's right here. So Warren is throwing us some stuff. Android cameras offer 16, 9, 4, 3, and 1, 1 is video shown. Instagram picture in this aspect ratio. That's a 4:3 aspect ratio. Okay, and then Cryptoville said even cheap cabs have timestamps. Oh yes, they do. They do. Looks more like something you'd see on Bigfoot Ballyhoo. Mick knows me. But yes, and you never know what you're going to see in the woods. So, you know, sometimes you get something cool like that.
Well, you know, there are sanctuaries for chimpanzees in the South.
You get a guy snooping around, but all these, there's timestamps. The funny thing is the only trail cam photo we don't have a timestamp is Tim Fasano. I can't. You're not here, but so anyway, so that's the. We'll get rid of these one by one. There's the story. There's the story.
Well,
so and there's our video.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
So, you know, I like it.
But to jump to the conclusion that that's a Bigfoot because of you know, a 2-second frame. Sorry, it ain't gonna flush. Now, one thing I like to revisit, since we're talking about, you know, and it's been a law enforcement kind of night. We have people stealing all the Bigfoot statues, and turning up in weird places. You know, when my half brother was alive, this is just a side story. He purposely did this. He swiped his mother's deer statue in front of her house, and he replaced it with a Godzilla statue. She drove in one day, and instead of the deer, there's Godzilla there.
Oh, terrible.
But one of the more known videos that we've seen in a while is this one, and you know, this is a few minutes. You know, perhaps people haven't seen it open, you know, start to finish. Let's talk about it because I love law enforcement videos, and this one definitely comes from law enforcement. So I'm going to put us in full screen and start playing.
If somebody's kicking in your door, I can articulate that in court. They have got no good intentions. Yeah. Their intentions are to harm you. Yeah. I can very, very easily articulate that. But they will though. The old ladies in this county, they'll liable to shoot first, ask questions after they've got your body.
Oh, don't you know?
Yeah, I've had several of them tell me that. They're like, look, I've lived in this county since I was 12 years old. Had the farm, daddy's farm. Yeah. Still got the land, and anybody coming on my property looking for no good, I'm gonna shoot them.
Absolutely. Whoa, what the heck?
What the crap?
What was that?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
What the heck was that?
That was on 2 feet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I thought I was seeing things actually.
Oh my goodness. Please tell me we got that on audio or video.
Probably would have almost tattooed, but I was recording.
You see anything down there?
Yes. So I don't know what the heck it is. It's something going back. See it?
Where's that?
It's right over there. I don't know what it now it's.
Hang on a second, let me get over here. It's not a person.
Now, the reason why I'm keeping this playing is the conversation.
Right there, your light on was right there. That thing was going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it stopped.
Did you see that? I'm not crazy. I seen something, didn't you?
Heck yeah, I saw it.
What was that? I thought, I was like, well, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I seen something.
What is over here? If there's houses or something, I would be willing to bet somebody did something. I wonder if they came through there.
I'm playing a prank, maybe? That looked like a bear, but it was running on 2 feet.
You know, I didn't want to say bear, but that's what I thought.
I don't know what to make of that, to be honest with you.
Can you see if it's on that recorder?
I'm about to.
It was almost going too fast for
I
to
never
be an
seen
animal.
nothing like that before.
So there we have it. You know, a very video. What a lot of people don't know is about 2 weeks later, the sheriff came out and stated that, well, you know, it was one of the people in the house that was conducting a hoax. He had a costume and he ran across the road. So to me, here's the thing. The you know, and Phil Poling popped in and said, you know, I heard that the sheriff had paid a visit to your house. That is actually correct. My point is that nobody was ever named.
Yeah.
And was it done to kind of, because it did create quite the stir.
Yeah.
And you heard the police officer talk about the speed. You know, and you know, look, now I didn't look at the background of the police officer, how long he was a police officer when that happened. But I do find it very, I mean, now this is a 10-year-old piece of film, but I do find it very, very interesting. Hard to say. I mean, a guy in a black suit running across the road. Okay, that may be, but when you have a police car pulling over there, you know, that would be the point to go, I better tell him it's me and say something or I'm going to get shot.
Yeah.
You know, that would be me, you know. So I really don't know what to think of it. You know, just because the sheriff said that, you can understand for political reasons and for pressure reasons. And, you know, I'm sure the police officer got beat up pretty good too. Oh, we just see a Bigfoot, you know. I know I know the background of Brian Goslin, you know, the police officer in Whitehall, and we've had a lot of discussions over the years over, you know, well, pardon my French, but the shit he went through after his sighting and actually going public with it. So when you have something like this, you know, I can understand that, you know, why a sheriff may say, hey, listen, we need to put a tamper on this. So I'm just going to say I visited a couple of guys down at the house without naming names, and we'll just say, oh, yeah, it was them. Never gave us an address, basically, they never gave us there we go. Never, the stream burped for a second, but never gave us really, you know, any other details. I mean, if you think about it, how would we feel, you know, if, you know, somebody came up with evidence and said, geez, you know, I talked to the witness. He's good. You know, he saw Bigfoot running through a field and barbecued hot dogs, but he's good. He's okay. You know, well, who's the witness? Where did it happen? Where you don't have any of that.
Right.
So there's no accountability other than just the sheriff saying so, and he had motivation to say so. You know, we need to shut this down. And I want to say hi. And on Facebook, I want to say hi to Tommy, John, Jason Weaver, Peter. Hello, Peter, my good buddy. How's everybody doing? Crystal, Amanda, Randy, Mantra, hello, and John Gray.
Hey, John.
Oh, well, what people don't know, John Gray is actually one of our local anchors for the news. He's a friend of mine. So good to see him or see him out there. So is this something that was just covered up? You know, it could very well be. We need to shut this down. We're getting way too many phone calls. We'll just say this, and that'll relieve that pressure off their back. So, that's
well, you know, we went through a similar thing here in Kentucky, and you know, I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories or anything, but we had a local farmer had some animals attacked and killed, and that looked exactly like a large cat had got a hold of them. Now, nobody said it was Bigfoot or anything, you know, abnormal. Well, you know, a large cat in the area is considered out of the ordinary in Kentucky. But the local the state wildlife rep came down and examined the carcasses, and he decided that the farmer had shot them.
Yep.
And it was ridiculous because the sheriff in Monroe County, he decided, well, that's wrong. That's not what happened. And he still advised people to keep an eye on their animals and small children if they play outdoors. And it turned out he was right, because somebody got a picture of a large cat on a game cam in the area. And sure enough, it's what it was. But, the first thing they wanted to do was stamp this out.
I have to say hi to Jess. Hello, Jess. I know you're out there. Top flight. But yeah, it's just, they do sweep a lot of stuff under the rug, and they don't want to, how many times have we seen trail cams show these, black panthers or, mountain lions, catamounts, whatever you want to call them. And, DC up here says, oh, no, that's, and the funny thing is, here's the funny thing. I had met a good friend of mine, a police officer who I'd known for years. He was a SWAT guy, tactical guy when I was a medic. So that's how we met. And, it must have been about 7 or 8 years ago. We hooked up. He didn't realize that I was into the Bigfoot thing, and he was too. And now in his retirement, he actually does a little outdoor show, and he actually did stuff on Bigfoot on his little outdoor show. And we're sitting there talking, and he invited, and then he says, "Yeah, look what I got in my trail cam last week." And he showed it to me, and it was a mountain lion. And it doesn't matter, DC. No, that's not a mountain lion. That wasn't taken around here.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
And it absolutely was. It absolutely was.
Exactly.
So
we had the same thing. Well, I'm not going to say the same exact thing, but a similar occurrence happened. And of course, I live 20 miles or so from Mammoth Cave.
Yep.
And Mammoth Cave National Park, and they have a lot of wildlife over there. And the doctor over there was getting reports that there was a mountain lion in the area. Mm-hmm. People had seen it crossing the roads and had seen it out while they were hiking in the park. And so they tell this guy, and he said, "Oh no, you probably it's probably just saw a big dog or something, Mm-hmm. And he just more or less blew off until finally one morning he's going, either him or his secretary one is going into work. And the mountain lion strolls across the parking lot over at the main office.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I finally ran I don't know if it was a full page, but they ran a small ad in the Park City News in the local paper there. Just kind of, what to do in case you're confronted with a mountain lion in Mammoth Cave National Park, because it is possible that there are some over there.
Well, you know what the first line of defense is. If you run across any animal that is dangerous, well, make sure, number one, always go into the woods in groups. Never be alone. Second thing, don't ever be the slowest person there, and you're good. You're good. It's right. I see it.
Make sure you tie your shoes and double knots. You don't want those shoes to come untied when you're running for your life.
Or carry a very big stake in your pocket. There you go. And as you can use that like chaff, like the fighter planes do to throw off missiles.
Right.
As you're running, you're throwing the stakes out of your pocket, trying to hold that, Anyway, so yeah.
Well, that's one reason. When I go into it, or when I used to go into the woods, I would go armed, and it's not because I'm scared from Bigfoot's going to get me or I'm going to shoot one. I'm a firm believer in the no kill. Mm-hmm. But in this area, there are large predators. And when you leave the comfort and safety of your automobile and you go trekking around in the woods, 3 or 4 miles in, or, however far you want to go, you become, vulnerable.
Yep.
And there's, you better have some bear spray or something with you, because if you get confronted with something, I mean, it's looking at you as food.
Yep.
And not just another friendly, neighborhood creature.
Oh, look at the kitty. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, so let's since we're talking about kind of stuff, we're going to go back. We're going to take a quick break and go back in time, because I like doing this every once in a while. If I find something really cool, and Chris saw it in our pre-show workup. He saw the video clip that I'm going to be showing. It's pretty cool. This clip was from 1969, and it's about the Lake Worth monster in Texas. And I thought it'd be it's always kind of fun to show some stuff that's vintage.
Yeah.
I mean,
check out the birth control glasses on this guy. You're gonna love it.
and the pretty boy on the end. But but then I think about it, talking about vintage. Is it? My goodness, it's 51 years since the Patterson-Gimlin film today, October 20th.
Wow.
Patterson-Gimlin film day.
Hey, hadn't thought of that. Yeah, you're right. Sure is.
So here is this great little clip. It's a couple of minutes, and yeah, birth control glasses. Here we go.
Just about the time man, in all his wisdom, decides that he has this world and everything in it all figured out, along comes something he can't explain. Take the recent reports of the Lake Worth monster or creature or whatever you want to call it. Some who have seen it say it looks like a half man, half ghost. Others, who are a little more conservative, describe it a little differently.
Well, it was about 7 foot tall, weighed about 350 pounds, and it was hairy, and I couldn't see his face. It was in the darkness.
There are reports that it had scales, too. Did you notice that?
I was so scared I didn't see nothing like that.
You said it took the tire off your pickup. What did it do?
No, it was not the tire off our pickup. It was in a sand pit that they dug from, and he threw a tire some 400 to 500 feet. And the police that looked at the tire in the back of the car said that it had to come off from a pickup. We didn't have no pickup there, so we had a Rambler, little Rambler out there.
Did it look like he was throwing the tire at somebody, or?
He's throwing it at everybody, about 40 people.
This is the place near the Greer Island Wildlife Refuge where Harris allegedly saw the creature or monster or whatever you choose to call it.
It was up there on those cliffs, and it'd stay up there running back and forth, and it wouldn't run the whole distance around. It'd just run halfway around it and halfway back, and it wouldn't run to the trail that was up there. It'd run to the edge of the cliff that was pretty rugged and had a lot of weeds and trees around it, and I couldn't see how no human could really get through there as fast as it could.
The skeptical say it's a man in a monkey suit. Some say it can't be, that no man is that big or that strong or could make so hideous a sound. At any rate, something happened out here last night, and so tonight there will be more people back, armed with cameras and probably with rifles. And this causes apprehension, particularly for police who say that, monster or no, if there are very many rifles here, somebody might get hurt. Gary Taft, Channel 8 News at Lake Worth.
And there you have it. You know, part of the whole thing with that is, if you really think about it, you know, they tend to how should I say this? Why did I lose my show lineup screen? I have two of the same. There we are. You know, why in the world would you know, anybody? Of course they're saying it's a man in a monkey suit. Of course they're saying things like that. Why wouldn't you, for public safety? Because those were the good old days, you know, when folks were you know, showing up with guns and dogs and guns and
Yeah.
and remember, if you ever watch you know, Legend of Boggy Creek, they have all the dogs and all the guys with guns. My God, I'd hate to be in those woods at that time.
Yeah.
You know, pretty dangerous stuff. So,
Well,
you know,
the part about the tire, I mean, you know, I can't imagine anything or anybody throwing a tire 400.
Well,
let's say the low number, 400 feet.
I doubt something got thrown that bad.
No, that's hard to believe.
No, what I think, what I really think, what I really think had occurred was, I mean, if you listen to the gentleman's description, and as somebody that listens to people in interviews a lot, and that's, you know, trained forensic interviewer, you know, something I picked up on, he says, well, it's about 7 foot tall and about 150 pounds. That's pretty emaciated, if you think about it. 7 foot tall and 150 pounds. Well, I mean, when the average human, you know, the average weight for a 6'2" human is about 210, 220 pounds. You know, when you think about it, you know, you look at somebody like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. He's 6'4", 6'5", 270 pounds. You're talking to something, you know, 7 foot tall, but it's only 150 pounds. So I think the guy's measurements and his scaling is off a little bit.
I don't know, Steve. Man, I swear, with my Kentucky ear, I heard 350 pounds. We may have to play that again because it may have been.
Well, I just remember I got the big
Just
cans.
about the time man, all his, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, weighed about 300 tall. Weighed about 350 pounds. 150 pounds. It was about 7 foot tall. Weighed about 350 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
he did say 350. Yep.
He's got that southern drawl, man, and I know it's difficult to pick out sometimes.
Well, you know, I damn it, Bennett. Here I am thinking that, you know, for Christ's sake, this is actually a video. He didn't have to interpret. And guess what?
Oh, dude, I'm
he
sorry.
had to interpret. He had to interpret it.
But he's speaking my language, so you know.
That's so funny. That's our running joke we've had for all the years we've been together. Steve, can you interpret that? Chris, can you interpret that?
Yeah. But you know what got me was the tire deal. You know, 400. You know, at the moment 400 feet. That's and he said it was off of a truck. So I'm assuming it had a rim on it if they knew it was off of a truck, unless it was a semi.
Well, no, to me it sounded like it was in the back of the truck and it pulled it out. But you know, but you know what? He was dissing that reporter big time towards the beginning. You know, well, some people report that it had scales. Well, I never saw that.
Yeah,
well, you know, but it was taken off your truck. Well, no, it wasn't my truck. I don't have a truck. So why you guy
got a Rambler, and I'd love to have that Rambler. You know,
so there's some evidence that 50 years ago, the media was still farging it up. I'm trying not to. They were still messing it up.
I don't want to get. I know we don't get political on the show whatsoever, but I do believe that as an early example of a liberal report there, because he's equating that because there's going to be guns there, somebody's going to get hurt.
Well, yeah.
And that's all I'll say about that.
well, hold on a second. No offense to my folks in the South. I'm from the North, and the way I took that is there's going to be a bunch of good old boys in these woods, and somebody's going to get hurt. That's how I took that.
Yeah. 6-pack of beer and a box full of shells, and let's go.
That's right.
Looking for Bigfoot.
Oh, wait, man. I got to turn around and get the 30-06. Anyway. So,
but that was good. I love that. I love those old news clips like that. I love that.
So here's something very interesting that Nick writes up. Keep in mind that 2 years after the PGF, Patterson Gimlin film, few people had seen the film. So mind you, this is Patterson Gimlin film was 67, not 68. So it's actually 52 years old today. But keep in mind that, you know, so unless they attended one of Rogers and Al's showings, unlike today with the internet and social media, you know, and Mick also
thanks, Mick.
So I love our commenters. So and a good night to Dave Dragerson, by the way, and I'm glad you know, Dave's signing off. So good night, Dave. Dave, I love you, brother.
Thanks for stopping in, Dave.
And David been through a little health scare, and he carried on like a trooper. So anyway, the final item of the night, unless no, we don't want to show the picture. I mean, I don't want to go through the beginning of the show, which we already did. But the one thing I want to talk about tonight is this had come up in conversation. The New York baby video had come up in conversation again today, and I realized at that point that so I have a few slides to show, essentially about the baby video, and there was a lot of talk of, which really surprised me. There was some talk or some people trying to point out, well, I think it was connected to an antenna, and the antenna, this is an antenna flag, and yada yada yada. And I'm like, no, it's not an antenna flag.
No.
Nothing. It has nothing to do at all with an antenna. I mean, if you had seen the original video, how can they even say it was an antenna flag that's making all these moves on the tree?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, unless somebody has, well, Steve, you got to take into account, though. I mean, you have sat down and studied this frame by frame. I've looked at it frame by frame, and we've seen the little rascal going up in the tree, playing around, going back down to whoever put him up there,
Yeah,
and
I do.
Really, yeah, it's not really that noticeable if you're just watching the video for the first time, maybe.
I do, and just to show before I get into a little more of the frames of this, I'm going to pull up something I want to show everybody real quick. I think people will find this interesting. That if I can move this over, come on, where are you? Trying to move it over. It's not letting me. There it is. Maybe there it is. I'm going to move this over real quick. This list here is every single frame of the video.
Yeah.
Every single frame. I have, with detail, viewed every single frame right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Of the video. That's how detailed that was. So, again, no pets or animals were allowed in the park. A lot of people, I was kind of befuddled by a couple of remarks there. I'm like, well, wait, hold on a second. The first remark was that it could have been an antenna flag, and that's what they were seeing.
Right.
And I'm going, no, could not. How they're even getting, through that. The second point was that the larger figure was just pixelation, and in fact, it goes to the left, and then after the thing hops off it comes back to the right and back. So no, this was not pixelation. As far as the animal mysteries are concerned, no pets or animals were allowed in the park. It's illegal to own a primate species in New York. No lab, animal, or zoo escapes during that time period. And, if I may add, would you just let your pet monkey go into a tree? You're never going to get the damn thing back. Never. You're not going to get it back. So, so let me try to find my control panel for this silly thing, because it's all over the place. Okay, there it is. So where is the slide projector on this thing? Hang on, pardon me. This it takes really a weird turn when you're using the 3 screens. So here is the video itself. We're going to click it, and this is going to be one of the clearest shots you're going to see, because this is the Gen 1 copy, and it's coming off my computer, so it's not degraded by upload or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you can see that's not pixelation in the background at all. That is something that's big. Now it's walking back. If I go back, let me try to go back to the very beginning. Okay, let's try this again. So if you look at this very clearly, that is not pixelation. Going back there, strolling across. And then as the camera comes back up, it's actually right there and it's walking back. And it's going to start, you're going to see a head. I feel like I'm drunk. But it's right over there and it's going to go in the back. And you see it going back and it disappears. Now, what you're missing while that's going on is if you watch what the little one does, right about here, it's hand over hand going into the tree. Now it's in the tree and you're going to see it swing once before it drops. Right there. It swings back, goes back. So it swings back and forth and down. How is that an antenna?
Yeah.
You know, and I see what they're saying, that it may be a car antenna or anything like that, but
yeah,
you know, it just isn't a car antenna. And if you notice, even the fire, it doesn't appear to be very windy.
Right.
So I understand why they think it may be a car antenna, but it makes no sense that it starts down here and then comes up, over, and down. You're going to appreciate these. If I get these to work, there we are. These are the slot model. There's the jump right there. Whoop.
Right. Yeah.
Off the bigger one. There it is in slow motion. There's the big one. And there's a jump. I know that's a little bit pixelated because of the zoom in on it.
No tail.
Yeah. So as the camera comes back up, well, Ken, no, it's not from 1979. It's from 1997, and it was released in 2003. But
that was the thing that got. That was the thing that got me. Okay, Steve.
And there it is, right there. Look, you can see it. There it is. And then it goes into the tree. It kind of disappears into the tree. Right? Boom, gone.
If this had been taken in the 70s, well, I don't think we would have had camcorders then either. But maybe it's possible. Yeah, I think they did have a few available in the late 70s. But I had thought at one time this was Nim Chimpsky. There's a video come out about Project Nim, and he was a chimpanzee that was raised by a human mother in New York.
Now, check it out. So this is the one of the crucial parts. You see the swing and then the jump down.
Right. Right.
Now, whether or not it has a tail, I didn't get the first swing yet, but I clipped the second wing swing right there. Now,
yeah, I was looking at that as a tail at first too, but I realized it's an arm.
It's really hard to tell what's going on there. Now, is this evidence? No, it's not, unfortunately, because it's very interesting. Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I have yet another video of this. This is another enhanced video, I believe. And this is the complete close-up of the whole incident using the original Gen 1 VOB files.
Yeah. And
this is just letting it play right out. Yeah, that's slide 3 or 4. But this is the area today, and I'm thinking that in this area is where the actual tree was. But I could be wrong. Could be in there. So it was really hard, you know, after all these years to kind of zero down on what that was. But what it clearly was not, it was not an antenna. It clearly was not a squirrel, raccoon, or anything like that. What we're left with is either this is a pet monkey, or it's which it seems a bit of a but it's a bit of a stretch thinking about common sense. You know, okay, let's say you broke New York law, you've got the monkey in the state, and you're driving around with it, and then you snuck it in the park somehow, even though, you know, they're turning away people with parrots. You're going to let your pet monkey play in a tree by itself. You're never going to get it down. Never going to get it down.
Right.
Especially when it's laden with apples and berries all over in there. It's gone.
Well,
So-
originally I had thought we were looking at a monkey. And then as I got to looking through the frame by frame analysis, what I thought to be a tail ended up being an arm. And so that brought me back to, well, okay, maybe we're talking a young chimpanzee here. And, but, you know, and I only knew the one that could possibly be in New York, and that was Nim Chimpsky. But the date's wrong. By this time, Nim was living in Oklahoma, I believe, at a sanctuary there. So that couldn't have been him. And that was the chimpanzee on record in New York, and he wasn't owned; he was leased for a very specific university project.
Okay,
there.
Chris, we have a question. My problem is with the audio. Aren't the people around the fire discussing Bigfoot? Well, you know what? I have the original video right here, and you tell me, Aaron. And I'm glad you asked that question. I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to let the video answer it.
Good question. Good question. Yeah.
Hang on. Technical difficulty. It's a VOB file, so I'm going to see if I can't get it to play. Yep, should play okay. Here we go.
Please don't crash the show.
Okay, are we filming now?
We're filming.
Okay, over here.
It's natural.
Why natural? I have something to say, god damn it. You want to act natural? I got something to say.
He's got a microphone in his hand.
I got something to say. I got a microphone.
Yeah, Paul, because we're all interested.
I don't want to close up. Say that's good enough. I just want to say that this is the Limbo Lake campgrounds, and this is the camping time of the can. We came here to camp, and Kenny's main objective is to burn cans. And if you notice within the fire, and Doug, please get a shot of this.
There you go.
With one can in there. I want you to look at this, because when we leave, ladies and gentlemen, when we leave here, we hope to have many cans melted in here. And this is the beginning. This is the Friday night. It's about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we hope to have many, and as the cans melt, our fun will increase. So this is the Limbo Lake campgrounds, number one night, beginning the first can. And with the first can, we will burn many more, and may we burn many more in years to come.
Here.
Thank you.
Here. As
There's going to be 2 of these cans full.
Kenny. He's going to start babbling a little bit as well.
2 coffee cans
all right,
full.
Now we're going to pan out across the lake.
Cases in 1 coffee can. I brought extra big.
It's a small lake. Actually, it's a pond. But you can still get an idea of just how good size this is. There are some nice fish in this body of water here. Caught a few. Hopefully get a few on film tomorrow. All right, as you can see, we got the campsites, each and every one here starting the fires now. It's almost 7:30, quarter after, something like that.
So there you have it.
I think that one dude already burnt or melted probably about 12 cans at this point.
Oh, yeah, they were toasted. And mind you,
but there was no talk about none whatsoever.
That's very interesting. My Facebook comments are showing up on the screen, but the people on that are commenting on Facebook are not showing up. So unless they fixed it, because I was the last comment that was made. So if one of my Facebook users just want to shout out a hi, I'll see if this is working finally. I don't know why it's not. It says it's not for whatever reason. I don't. But
it sounded like to me the dude holding the microphone was well toasted already.
Oh,
he had been drinking.
Well, the phony microphone, you mean?
Yeah.
So there you have it. You see, I mean, we're looking at this film is now 22 years old. 22 years old. And I got this film in 2003. So my investigation is already 16 years ago on this.
Yeah.
I mean, when you sit there and go, wow, Yep. Sorry, guys. Oh, well, hang on. Let me see. Nope. Facebook comments by people are not coming up there. But hello, Joe.
Oh.
Hello, Joe, and hello, Ken. But yeah. So there's a lot of and the one thing I've learned is really, and it was kind of funny because somebody challenged me today about it and said, "Well, are there any other references that you were the original person that created this?" Yeah, no, because I'm the first one to bring it out. But you know what? I have all the original stuff. I have the piece of paper he gave me. I have the disc. The very first, I actually have the DVD of it. Buried somewhere in my pile. But the point being is that I was the first one to investigate that. You can call Doug Pridgeon yourself and find that out. Doug's not hard to find. And Aaron, you know what, Aaron? Here's the thing, Aaron. I think you were thinking about the Memorial Day footage, which coincidentally was, I believe, also shot in 1997. So you may be, you may have your Bigfoot cases. I mean, I do that. I do because of my age. I do that a lot sometimes too. So, Aaron, you're forgiven. We love you.
Well, I got to say, nobody was more skeptical of this New York baby footage than me. And after I, banged my head against the wall and tried to find out exactly what's wrong with it, now I'm left with, it wasn't my original thought, what I originally thought it would be that would debunk it. And so I'm left with the, well, that's interesting category.
Yes. Rick Schaff from Facebook asks, so have you ever wondered if they took a gorilla in a known Bigfoot area, if they might get an interaction? Good question. I do a lot of primate stuff. What would Sasquatch do is written about primate behavior. And I don't think it would be any different than interactions with us because it's another primate species. It's not the same species. I mean, we're trying to, the way I look at it is this, is that, they have human looking characteristics. They have gorilla looking characteristics or, pongid characteristics, and they're kind of a blend. I think they would have the same type of interactions they have with the hominin, as the same as they have with the pongid. I mean, we're all in the primate realm.
Yeah.
So I studies will show that primates act one way towards their own type, but differently towards other types. Right. Think about us. I mean, we, at least now, over the years, we don't declare war on a bunch of chimpanzees. There was a time when Homo sapiens did kind of combat Neanderthal, but think about that for a second. They were in competition for a lot of the same things. And then again, Homo sapiens were, smarter. And when you tend to be smarter, you also tend to get something called ambition. And so I think that was the case there.
Yeah, but Steve, with the Neanderthals, there's a lot of theories about why they disappeared or how they disappeared. And, one of mine has always been that, there might have been some conflict in there between the two species. But since we all have a small portion of Neanderthal DNA, I think they were absorbed into our species, is what I think.
I think that's a real, I think that's a real good point too. Too hard to say, but do I think they'll have interaction? I think they'll have a very similar interaction. I think the gorilla would be very unhappy, tell you the truth. But just like if you drop me off in a strange patch of an area, if you drop me off in a strange city, think about that for a second. If you drop any one of us in a strange city, say you don't even know the language, you feel very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very. So,
And guerrilla behaviors is something totally different too.
Yep.
I mean, they've got their own world of social stuff. So it's hard to say what one would do.
Sure do. Yep. Sure do. So while we're yapping for the rest of the day, I'm gonna throw up my my picture of the I'm going to throw a picture out of a couple of things that the other podcasts that we tried to do earlier, they're going to be deleted. So we didn't get these pictures out. This is just some pictures of Chautauqua Lake and such. Me sitting in the woods looking down the gorge. We discussed that earlier. Gorge, holler,
yeah. Falling down the hill,
big hole in the ground. There's Hinsdale House, where I was a couple of days ago, the Dandy Farm out in Hinsdale, New York. So it's been a real busy couple of weeks. That's why we weren't here. And there's me blabbing at the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Expo. What did I talk about? This time I talked about analysis in Bigfoot research. And I pointed out some of the tools I use and some of the things I do. And some of the results I get, like, and some of the ballyhoo stuff that I've done over the years, some of the Todd Standing stuff that I've done over the years to show where, this is, bunk.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get our stuff ready for, there we are. So anyway, I think we're going to call it a night. We've had quite the conversation going on. If anybody wants to shoot out a quick question either on Facebook or on YouTube, if not, we'll but you know what, Aaron, maybe we'll do something next week on the Memorial Day footage. We've talked about the Patterson Gimlin footage, and hello to Bob Gimlin if you're out there listening, or Russell.
Yeah, you know what?
Say hi to Bob.
We should have done a show on the Patterson Gimlin for the anniversary. Man, I think about it. I didn't even realize it was the day until you said something about it.
Well, the funny thing is we already did a show on the Patterson Gimlin film a couple of months ago. Yeah. If I had much foresight to realize that our show night was on the anniversary, maybe I would have done something different. But I can't. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm, where I'm going tomorrow, let alone. The life of an investigator, you never know what's going to happen. I may get a phone call and go, I have to go left instead of right. That happens. But yeah, maybe we'll do something on the Memorial Day footage next week. Owen and what was it? Owen and Lauren Pate, Pate, were the names of the folks. Oh, Ken Collins says, can you throw something on Marble Mountain? Well, yeah, we can talk about Marble Mountain and Memorial Day.
Yeah.
We'll stick with the M's. We'll stick with the M's. How about that? But yeah, I think we had a lot of fun tonight going over some of this stuff. Always remember, folks, that when you have something that has been investigated years ago, like the New York baby footage, and it's kind of funny because I actually had a blogger who tackled it, and I'm going, I've never seen such wrong things written on an article. And she says, well, I'm just going so we had a little conversation, and it turned out to be very nice.
Yeah.
And Ashley, if you're interested, just throw me a shout out at admin, ADMIN, at squatchdetective.com. Just admin, and you got the screen right there at that address, squatchdetective.com. Or if you want to throw me, if you go on the Squatch Detective fan page, because I think right now I'm back to 5,000 fans again on Facebook, or on my personal page. So that's the limit. So the overflow I kind of send to the Squatch Detective fan page. So you find that, like me there, and you can throw out a message to me, and we'll see what we can do, Ashley. Yes, Ashley, I did talk to you at the Bigfoot Festival. Yep. Love to talk to you again. So awesome. But I think, Chris, let's face it, what we do here is not fluff. And I'm not bad mouthing, other podcasts. But there are some podcasts out there that put out stories, and you know, they have huge bases of followers. When we put a story out there, when we give you the information, we're giving you the most accurate information we can. And I can tell you, the New York baby video, that was a 4-month investigation. Like you saw, I showed you the files, frame by frame by frame by frame of that thing.
Yeah,
for years. And I still every once in a while pick it up and with a new technology try to enhance the video even more, because those enhancements did not happen 16 years ago. Didn't have the equipment, didn't have the ability to do that. Now we're starting to, you know, every year things get a little bit better. So that's the whole idea behind this. Just remember, when you're looking at an old investigation on social media, there is a lot of misnomers there, a lot of stuff that isn't correct. You know, people can get dates wrong. Oh, I thought this was taken in 1988. No, it was taken in 1997. You know, stuff like that.
That's the thing, you know, if I write a blog, make sure you get all your facts straight before you put this stuff down, because you end up changing the story and then somebody else reads it and then they pass it on.
You know, at first I was a little snipped about it, but then, you know, you didn't go to the source. But then again, you know, it was 16 years ago. A lot of people don't know. I was the first investigator for that one.
Right.
I was the first guy. I was the only guy. There was nobody else. Nobody else investigated that. It was me. It was me who talked to Mike Lembo, the owner of the property. It was me who talked to Doug Pridgeon. It was me who did all the research to see if anything escaped. It was me. So I understand that I'm not going to take that to heart. Well,
and I think it's worth mentioning that Steve was also the man behind the scenes in some of these Bigfoot shows that did special on the New York baby that they never bothered to credit him for either.
Yeah, I was a silent guy.
Which that kind of bothered me a little bit, but he was kind of a you know, he's a straightforward, you know, modest kind of fella. And he never said anything about it. But, you know, I think, to me, I feel like my friend was abused a little bit in a few cases.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
You know what, Chris? Did it have a payoff? It certainly did. You know, I got to meet a lot of great people. I got to go to the town halls. And I got to hear, I got to make a lot of more connections. And, you know, that's the one thing I always say about this field is that, you know, you make connections through going to these events. People think, you know, there are purists in this that think you should only go out and do research. Well, you don't get new reports. You don't get to press the flesh. You don't get some accessibility to some private areas unless you actually go out there and meet people, talk to people, and educate people. And by doing that, that opens many, many doors. So it's all part of the running game plan. You know, you want to you know, get more info, you got to talk to people. You don't sit there and say, and just, well, you know, I'm a purist. I don't believe in conferences. I don't believe in expos. I don't believe, you know, everybody, you know, pouting. You know what?
Well, you go there maybe because of the expo.
Here's the problem I have with people, with a lot of people, is I see people comment, well, you know, there's a lot of people patting themselves on the back and blah, 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 blah. You know what? Put your envy away, put your jealousies away, and open your ears. And maybe there is some patting on the back. Maybe there is some of that. But if you open your ears long enough and keep an open mind long enough, you may be able to hear something that may corroborate something you have. Or maybe you have something that's a positive to add to the discussion. So that's my point on that.
I think there's a good reason to go to a conference to listen to the speakers, but I think there's a better reason to go to a conference to speak with other people.
And Aaron, I took no disrespect in that at all. My brother took no disrespect in that at all. I don't, you know, one of the things you have to be is this show is about education. A lot of it. This is edutainment. We try to give you some fun stuff. We try to give you some funny stuff. We try to have a good little talk show where we're trying to build a relationship with our audience. And one of the things that, like I said, you will not get is fluff. You won't get these cockamamie stories from these very well polished sounding witnesses. Just saying. That seem to have these stories. Oh, well, you know, I'm a law enforcement officer for all these years, and here's my friend here has this video, and you listen to the audio, and my goodness, he's not stumbling words at all, you know. Hi, folks. I am the Squatch detective. Sorry, I'm about reality, folks. And you know what? I'd rather take the 400 or 500 viewers from Facebook and YouTube that we have for this show, because our business is about educating people and getting them on the right, straight stories, and try to give them food for thought to think about. You know, give them food to thought to think about the next time somebody throws a story on. I'm telling people, you know, be a skeptic. Every story, you gotta be a skeptic. Don't be so quick to believe.
Oh, yeah.
That is, you know, if I can't pound that through people, and that's why I love doing these shows, because, you know, it's my little bully pulpit. But we have a good time, and I try to remain humble as much as I can. But yeah, there's some things I'm very passionate about, and please do not confuse passion with arrogance. It's not. It comes from the heart, and that's why I'm so, you know, enthusiastic about it. Did I lose you, Chris?
I'm here. I'm just listening, man. You're laying it down pretty thick over there.
Well,
so
you know,
I'm just letting it soak in.
So anyway, all right, we can
ditto everything you just said. I'm 100%. I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, we just love, you know, this is what we love to do. We love talking Squatch. We love taking the stuff and you know, this is the beautiful thing about this platform, Chris. Why I love this show is because we can take that and we can talk and show people and have conversations with people all around the world. It's awesome. And I
love looking at the videos and the evidence and stuff. And, you know, we're not going to be able to show anything on here that's going to make everybody say, oh, that's it. Now I believe. No, it's not about that.
Well,
it's about talking about, you know.
You never know. But for now, we're gonna show you stuff and not sugarcoat it. We're gonna take a look at it, break it down left, right. What do you think? You know, like I said, even the law enforcement video, I have problems with the story, but you know, are there possibly some explanations? Yeah, but I don't see them, and there hasn't been any in 3 years since that video came out. But people that listen to our show, they remember stuff like that. People that are just in it for the stories, they've forgotten that already. So that's why, you know, we try to do right. Anyway, folks, we'll be back here next week, Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will have all the glitches fixed. I definitely will. So anyway, on behalf of me and Chris, I want to wish everybody a wonderful and great week. Please be safe, be healthy. God bless. And most of all, Chris, take it away.
Keep on squatching.
Amen.
Thanks, everybody.